Hi everyone, and welcome to Introduction to Information Systems. I'm your professor, Jackie Fritz, and this is our online orientation of the course space. Use this orientation when you first go to access the course to become familiar with the course space, and then refer back to this video when you have questions about the organization of course content. First, let's get to the course space. I'm starting at the Bucks homepage. Click on Quick Links. Click on Canvas. Enter your Bucks username and password. This is the same username and password that you use to access WebAdvisor. If you do not know your password, click this link here for help. Click on Courses in the top menu bar, then click on CISC110.EN5. And this is our course space. You will be directed to a home page. Every week, this home page will include the following: a link to our class chatter discussion space, and a link to my IT lab. I recommend clicking on this link each time you log into our course space. My IT lab is where you'll be completing different activities for the course. You will need to register when you first get into this course space for intercession so that you can access the content and assignments within this space. This space allows us to do more simulations and more hands-on work that we cannot get done in the Canvas course space. Directions for how to register for my IT lab are included on this home page. So make sure that you click and open those instructions the very first time you get to this space. So the very first time, again, you're going to register. Once you've registered, when you go to this link, you will click Sign In. We are using Office 2013 in this course, so click on Microsoft Office 2013 and click on the title for our course in the upper left-hand corner. This will take you to the simulation and activity component of the course space, but you do need to click on To Do/Completed underneath the assignment and calendar heading on the left-hand menu. And then click To Do. A pop-up window will display the activities that you have to do. You need to allow pop-ups for that to get to this window, so keep that in mind. We'll come back to that. So our content is organized by the weeks that are in intercession, and now we're back on our Canvas course space, and you can get to those weeks by clicking on the link to the week listed in the home page, or go to all weeks by clicking on the link to the modules list. Up here, when you get to that modules list, is the links to the content that we'll be using for each and every week. Here we have a list of the weeks in our intercession and the topics that we'll be covering for each week. Each week has a very similar structure. You'll be introduced to the concept. You'll be accessing the learning objectives, the lecture content, and a quiz. You may also have a discussion or a grader project to do in my IT lab for each week. I want to draw your attention to the supplemental material. This material is optional. It's When you want to start a module, click on the first green link in that module list. And then you can proceed through the module by clicking the next arrow in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. This will guide you through all of those elements that are in each module that I just listed. So as you can see, we moved on from our learning objectives to the lecture content. The lecture content corresponds to either your Skills for Success book or your Visualizing Technology book. Visualizing Technology is a little more modern and applicable to your day-to-day life and also other topics that you might experience in the professional atmosphere. The Skills for Success book is very focused on the Microsoft Office 2013 applications. I'm going back to modules by clicking the modules link on the left-hand side. If you notice here, everything in these modules list is green. That's because you have access to all content in the course. You may work at your own pace. You do need to complete all required assignments, which are the grader projects and discussions and quizzes by Friday, January 9th. That is the Friday before the prep for the final and the final exam will be open to you. So work at your own pace and feel free to contact me at any point within the course space to ask me questions about the content. As you work through the content, you will have grader projects. These projects are the projects that you will be completing in My IT Lab. Remember, My IT Lab is what we opened and went to in addition to this Canvas course space when we first logged in. So that there's 2 virtual class areas for this course. Canvas, which again organizes the content and all assignments for you. And then My IT Lab, which contains only the assignments that you will need to complete to demonstrate your understanding of the Microsoft Office concepts. A tip for you when you're working on the assignments in the My IT Lab section. When you work on these, you'll be required to complete different tasks in the various Microsoft Office applications, like Word, Excel, Access, and PowerPoint. The tasks that you complete can be guided through the book in the skills section of your chapters. So I recommend working on these tasks within My IT Lab with your Skills for Success textbook either open in another tab if you purchase the online version, or with the book sitting next to you if you purchase the print version. Another tip for this class is to just keep yourself organized, and to do that by following these weeks. So even though you have access to everything, it's detrimental for you to go ahead and work on, let's say, like, Word 3 before you complete Word 1. So while you can work through everything, I do recommend working on it in order. To try to get to know your classmates a little bit better, I suggest doing the discussion assignments within the date range that's listed next to the week. That way you can have sort of a more natural almost face-to-face class-like conversation in that discussion area. Speaking of discussions, just one final note. I do strongly encourage you to use our class chatter discussion space. I'll show you what that looks like. In this space, this is where you can ask each other questions. You can share any sort of current topic that relates to our course in this space. It's meant to try to bring a little more personality to an otherwise sometimes dull online course space. So please use it. I'll be using it. It's not graded. You don't have to worry about spelling or grammar. It's just simply to have sort of a conversation. Finally, and most importantly, if you have any questions about course policies, grading, please look at the syllabus. The link to that content is on the left-hand side of the course space, and then you can click this document link here to open it, either within the browser window or download it to your computer. Feel free to ask me questions either through that discussion space or up here in the Canvas inbox system at any time throughout the course space. I will get back to you within 24 hours during the week and weekend. So I am here to help you out as you work through this content, and I hope you enjoy the course.